Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have CANB Corp. It trades on the OTCQB under the symbol CANB and is a health and wellness company providing the highest quality hemp-derived cannabinoid products. Please welcome its CEO, Marco Alfonsi, and CFO, Stanley Teeple. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Fantastic.
Well, we're happy to have you back on the conference, and we look forward to your presentation. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ryan, for the Emerging Growth Conference, and thank you, Anna, for the great introduction. We are, as she said, a health and wellness company. We need to go through this slide on disclaimer and forward-looking statements. This is not a solicitation. It's an information presentation. No matter how good a business plan is, no matter how good you structure something, if you don't have the right management team in place, it's just not going to work. So we really focused, and Marco built the company around strong management. It's important to know who we are and where we come from. So let's lead in with Marco. Why don't you share your background with the group? I think they'll find it fascinating.
Good morning, and I want to thank the conference and Anna as well. More importantly, from 96 to 2008, I've owned 3 broker-dealers, the last one being Basic Investors, BSIC on the box. We made 300 markets as market makers. We had approximately 114 registered reps, and we had about 6,600 accounts, many of them institutional. And we did about 37 transactions from cradle to grave. And throughout my history and doing the banking deals, that's why Stan alluded to strong management. If you don't have strong management, you have nothing. Stan, why don't you say a little bit about yourself as well?
For 30 years, I've had my own turnaround consulting business. I worked for a number of public and private Fortune 250 companies. I did restructuring and turnaround, bankruptcy courts, trustees, and so on. 5 years ago, actually 30 years ago, Marco and I were on the board of a BD together, and we kept in touch all these years, but went our separate ways. And 5 years ago, he called. He said, "Look, I got a home run here. I need you to come in full time." And I dropped, sold my business. I'm in this up to my neck with Marco in a really good way. The third member of our senior management team is Phil Scala. Phil is a former FBI SAIC in New York. He is also an accountant, a chartered accountant. So he is kind of our watchdog. He looks to keep everything transparent and open and moving forward. And that's really what we do. It's important to know the independent outside directors we have. We have Alger Boyer, who is a former number 2 guy at Wainwright and Company. We've got Jim Murphy. Jim Murphy now owns his own company. He's also former FBI, but he owns his own company, Sutton Associates. They do all the background check on everything associated with the NFL, from janitor to quarterback and everything in between. Senator Ron Silver is our third independent outside board member, and he's the former Speaker of the House in Florida for 14 years. He's retired, but he has his pulse and thumb on what's going on in Florida business from a CBD and THC and marijuana standpoint. It's important to note we have medical and corporate advisory boards, but our medical board is important to know because that's how Marco built the business. He wanted to find the right product, test the efficacy of the product. He would send out samples to the doctors, get input, modify the product. So what we actually like to say is that it's doctor tested, but also doctor approved, and the doctors actually use our product and recommend it for their patients. Why should you sit here and listen to us for the next 15, 20 minutes? Probably 3 key points here. We have $16 million worth of hard assets. We bought a lot of these assets at auctions and sales. These are not going out and just buying brand new equipment and paint. We got opportunities and deals. We're going to get into what we did on our asset acquisitions on those assets. Everything starts with our hemp operating division. We're going to do a deeper dive into that in a minute. Marco's going to take us down there. And we show 75% growth, but that's actually after our last quarter release of numbers. We hit 1.9 million first quarter, which was 520% quarter over quarter. A quick look at our organization chart. We talked about the hemp operating division at the top. Marco's, as I said, is going to do a deeper dive on that. But think of us as like 3 legs of a stool. We have the hemp division. We have Pure Health Products division, which is manufacturing. And we have Duramed, our durable medical device division. we'll touch on the other two as we get through the presentation. But Ryan, at this point in time, could you cue us in? We have about a 3-minute video presentation that gives you a good overview and background of our hemp operating division. Ryan? Thank you, Ryan. As we said, everything begins with our hemp division, and Marco's going to get into how we acquired the acquisitions and what we do in hemp. Marco?
Okay, can we get to the next slide? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of important. We did 3 acquisitions in the end of Q3 of last year. One in Miami, one in Tennessee, and one in Meade. In the Meade acquisition, it's important to know how we took it in. That facility now has the capability of doing approximately 240,000 pounds of biomass. Right now, we're running at about 50%, so we're converting. But it's important on how we brought the asset into the company. So what we did is the gentleman who had the factory prior to us, we picked it up. He spent a little over $12 million retrofitting the factory, getting the electric, the flooring, and all the equipment in and welded it all up. We ended up paying in a fire sale, we ended up paying $6 million in company stock. So we have that asset on our books. And that's why our assets went from 3 million to 17 million. Not only this acquisition, but we have other ones. So we take it from biomass into winter crude, and then we'll bring it down to our other facility in Morgan. Hold on, I think I went too fast, right? In Morgan, Colorado, where we have a big 99. At that location, that was also part of the equipment that we had purchased in the transaction for the $6 million of company stock. The other thing that I just want to be aware of, and I don't want to skip over, is how we bring in our biomass. We have approximately 6.5 million pounds of biomass sitting in our facility in the Colorado properties. But I'm going to take the last transaction to give you the mathematical equation on how we will not get hurt bringing in biomass and having the old-fashioned tolling deals. The last 1.5 million pounds of biomass we took in, we paid 50 cents a pound at the time that the stock was trading. It was lettered stock, so it's 144 paper. So we made that farmer part of our company, if you will. He's alongside of us. But the crop has been degraded sitting in the field, so we don't know if it's going to take 70 pounds, which it traditionally does to make 1 good kilo of isolate, or if it's going to take 130 pounds. It's not on our back because the farmer's at risk. So here's how the transaction works. We'll have the farmer deliver the product on our property. We'll process the whole product. We will then take out the cost of the stock, which in this case was $600,000, all the transport fees, all the overhead, all the labor. So net to the bottom line, we'll do a 70-30 split. And then from there, we'll send it to one of our factories, because if they want it, they could take it back as isolate, or then we have the ability to now, with the other acquisitions in Tennessee, we're able to make isomers. So what isomers are is real simple. We take isolate, that's 99.5% purity, and we send it to 3 locations. The first location that Stan talked about was in Tennessee. The second location is in Miami, and the third location is Seattle, Washington, where we have our manufacturing plant. Everybody has a different spin on it. So in Tennessee, you see the rotovaps there, we have reactors. We take it down from isolate to isomers. We're able to do Delta 8, Delta 10, THCO, and HHC. We have those SOPs. And the reason I mention that is Delta 8 is legal throughout the 50 United States. It just went through District Court 9. And more importantly, we're able to move it. And it still gives you a euphoric effect. So we're getting a premium. We're getting about $450 to $500 predicated on the color and size. And then we're getting, for Delta 10, we're getting $1,100. THCO is about $1,200. So you can see by creating isolate into isomers, we're creating a much bigger spin on that. Okay, then we'll send it down to Miami. In Miami, Stan, do we have anything else to say about this? No, we're good on that, right?
No, yeah, no, that's perfect.
Okay, so in Miami, we have a like type situation. We have a lab that we do have reactors, but we also took it to the concept planning there. So you'll see our lab. So in Miami, we have a 10,000 square foot location. Think of it as 3 bays of 3,300. In the first bay, we have the lab. In the second bay, we have the lab lounge, because you can actually see our product being developed and made in our location in Miami. And then you're able to go into the consumption lounge and use it, right? And the lounge turns in, and you can see the doorway in the upper left-hand screen there, going into the lab lounge. Okay, the important thing is with the lab lounge that we signed a deal with the American Development Partners to build out 50 of these locations for $4 million. It was a $200 million commitment. And the breakdown is we get 51% of the revenue, we get 49%, and we are opening up the second one. This one we're waiting to get permitted out. The second one will be at, we're looking in Louisiana, and we're looking down in Nashville. But it's a great concept. Did I miss anything, Stan?
No, I just think it's important. You might mention what we did with American Development Company on our lab concept, because that's a huge announcement.
Yeah, no, I went over that. I just went over that.
Okay.
Okay. So then we'll move out the rest of the isolate down to Pure Health Products, Lacey, Washington. We have a 10,000 square foot facility there as well. You saw the video. The video sort of explains what and how we do things. But more importantly there, we're excited because now we are NSF approved. So that is a level 7 clean room. There's not many of them around, but now we're able to bid on big box stores, Walmart, Walgreens, and others. So we have a great white and private label business out of there. And we just signed with Brazil for Primex. Primex has approximately 120 locations that they're in today. They have an existing relationship with Invisa. Invisa is like the Surgeon General of the U.S., if you will, because in Brazil, this product is illegal. It has to be only done by doctors and prescription only. So after 9 months of testing with Invisa Primex, we were able to get into Brazil. We plan on launching that late part of Q2, early part of Q3. Don't know where it goes, but that is huge. The other benefit that we have in Pure Health Products is our brands and our labels. We started with a brand called Cambiola, as Stan alluded to before. We didn't want it to go in the bodegas and have a 15-year-old kid sell our product. So after testing, and we went straight for the doctors. So our doctors sell our product, CANB MD. We changed the name from Cambiola to CANB MD because we are in approximately 900 doctors' offices. So that when a doctor tells you, hey, you got to go home, Bob Smith, and take this product, you're going to get, and he'll be able to explain what it does to your body a lot better than a 15 to 20-year-old kid behind a counter trying to sell multiple products. That's why we spun a different label, Pure Health and New Earth, that's our bodega labels. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Marco, I was just saying we might also mention at this time about Imbibe, our other operating division that we didn't talk about. Imbibe is going to be rolling out a celebrity branded product, and all the products can be manufactured in our Pure Health Products facility as well.
Correct. Yep. And that's our superfood shake, guys. So now we are also making superfoods. So we came up with a unique way to get the doctor's offices in here. Okay. We build the doctor a website. There's no inventory, there's no investment, and there's no fulfillment. Because now the doctor, it's almost like a real estate website, if you will. It'll tell a little bit about the doctor, what he does, his hours, and more importantly, it'll take you to a shopping network that we have linked in. It's a great model because now the doctor feels comfortable to send patients to his own website and have his own explanation about these products. It's working out wonderful. And the doctor has a username and password to log in. Okay. Green Grove Farms, we have 2 grow licenses in the state. Our next division, we have 2 grow licenses in the state of Colorado and another one for New York. Those are dormant because we acquired 6.5 million pounds of biomass. Duramed is our medical device company, and the reason we have approximately 430 of these units at $430 per unit. We have so many doctors. This device is an FDA approved device that delivers 9,000 joules of energy in a 4-hour wearable device. This is great for pain reduction and builds capillaries, okay? They have sound stimulation, and that is the new technology, not electronic stimulation, but sound stimulation. More importantly, the model works out great. In the state of New York, we charge no-fault insurance for this unit, $695 on a weekly basis. In the state of Michigan, we're billing out $1,695 for the state of Michigan. So in the New York dynamic, it's the unit's paid for in 5 weeks. In the state of Michigan, the unit is paid for in 2 weeks. Great business model. That is cash positive. I think we're on a $6 million run rate. Stan, did I miss anything on that?
Not at all. We're not only cash flow positive, but we're profitable in the division, and we're certainly going to shortly get into braces and be expanding into the Florida market, which is the 3rd largest no-fault market.
Perfect. Stan, can you take the next slide quickly?
Sure. Essentially, we want to highlight some of the things we just got through talking about. NSF in our lab means we can now bid on pharmaceutical, nutraceutical business. Number two, we're vertically integrated. We come from biomass, the weed in the field, all the way through to finished product. Number three, our medical device division, as Marco just spoke about, is really on a really strong operating platform right now. White business model, we have 10 different branded products right now, soon to make an 11. We do about 102 different SKUs of product in here. Number five, Imbibe is going to be launching this new lifestyle branded product with a major international celebrity. That'll be an announcement coming very shortly. And our business model on how we acquired stock, how we acquired the biomass for stock is just unique in our industry. Everybody else is buying cash at $3-4 for biomass. We got it picked up for 50 cents for stock. Marco,
Okay,
back
great.
to overview.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I took over the company in 2015, it was a non-reporting pink sheet. Now it's a fully reporting bulletin board. We did a name change and symbol change in 2017, started going out and creating these acquisitions. We took a dip like everyone when COVID hit, but we are back on track, and we closed the year out at $4.6 million, which to me is a great accomplishment, and I'm proud of the team we have. I guess at this point here, the stock is trading anywhere between 420 and 440 today. We have about 36 million shares outstanding. Got to update that.
3.6.
3.6. Yeah. And we got approximately 4,600 shareholders, and we are on a great run rate with 6.5 million pounds of biomass sitting on our fields, on our property in Denver. So I think we'll open it up for questioning.
Great job and congratulations. And this is a wonderful update from the last time we spoke. Darren Rogers says 600% growth rate. Wow, congratulations. This might be going over what you just spoke about, but he asked it. What can you guess your growth rate can see over the next year or two? Give us a future proposal of that.
Stan, take that one.
With what we have our arms around today on our biomass division, and with the announcements that we made on American Development and Primex, and with our new celebrity brand coming in, we like to tell people that if Marco and I can't pull this through the $15 million barrier, we both ought to be fired. So we think our run rate is shortly going to be reflecting that, and we have a lot of opportunity ahead of us.
Yeah, even higher. Yep.
Great. Eric Hunter asks, what percentage of your sales are through doctor recommendations? And what do you need to do to ramp up that MD network?
So what we've done to ramp up the MD network, that's a really great question, is that we created this new model that the doctors have no inventory, no investment, no fulfillment. It becomes real easy for them to set up an account, and that's why we go to these continuing eds for doctors' offices, and we catch 2-3 doctors. The last one, I think I caught 8 or 9, but they're all loving the website.
Great. Ted Jordan says, I saw your last conference, and it left him curious as to why you're not going to be serving any alcohol in your establishments. Is it about the liquor license? Maybe beer and wine could attract more customers?
And that's a good question. In the location in Miami, we did apply for a wine and beer license, but we will have our spirits made with Delta 8, Delta 10, THCO. So you'll have the same flavor profiles as the seltzer drinks, if you will, that are hot on the market now, but you'll get a little lifted and you're not going to get drunk.
There you go. Send me some. All right. Randall Phillips says he wants some clarification. The 70-30 split with the farmers is after all expenses are removed, and it's 70-30 to CANB, he's assuming?
No. So it's 70-30 to the farmer because he took all the risk. We de-risked the transaction by net. We took out the cost of the stock, the cost of the transportation, the cost of the labor, the cost of any kind of overhead that's associated with that crop is immediately taken off the table. Then we will provide him the split. So it secures us good working capital throughout the whole transaction.
All right. You guys have any closing remarks?
Yeah, I think everybody should put us on your radar. We're an undervalued company here. We applied for NASDAQ. You saw the S1A going in. Keep your eyes open because we have a big year and an exciting year ahead of us. And I want to thank not only the Emerging Growth Conference, but Stan and the whole staff of CANB, because I couldn't do it without them.
Well, great. We thank you, gentlemen, for joining us again. We look forward to featuring you again in the future with some more inspiring updates and to help support your growth. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan.
Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back.